Apparently, it's been more than a year since I showed any progress on the Invincible. Guess I should do something about that. So let's start by finishing these sections that I left unfinished last time. Even though it's just about like 30 pixels on the reference image, I feel like this design carried over really well. Some more orange lights, a couple more loose panels, and the realization that the top part is too tall and needs to be shaved down a bit. The further back on the ship we go, the fewer reference images I can get, so I'm just improvising this part. Same thing with the greebling on top. There are like a handful of pixels that I can use, so this is also mostly improvised. And yes, I may or may not be taking inspiration from old circuit boards. Squaring off the corners to make it easier to build from later. And finalizing what I can only assume to either be a ballast or a fuel tank. Followed by this video's greatest undertaking, redoing the wings. Entirely. From scratch. Pretty much. The first pair were way too short, didn't have enough of a wingspan, didn't go far enough back, and so I had to redo them. Even though it hurt something immensely to take apart the front design that I liked so much, the new wings are just too much better to not have them. And now for the other side. I really should learn how to use World Edit, huh? I mean, just look at that wingspan. But don't think the wings are gonna stop there. Oh no. No, we need to extend the wings a little bit further, because I forgot about the engines. And they need quite a bit of space in order to attach believably. Remember how I talked about there not being a lot of references for the back of the ship? Yeah, this is one of those instances where it really shows. I made a lot of mistakes with the back portion of this, which would have been solved if I had more references, but yeah. I'm about to build this big support block for the support beam for the big rings at the back. But then I figured, hey, the rings end way too far up. I need to bring them way further down. And then I had to build around the support block that I made. And it all ended up being just... it ended up fine. but it could have been so much better. To put off that work, I distracted myself by doing some more dribbling. And promptly covering it up. Question. Feel free to comment your answer, or just keep it to yourself. Up to you. Do you think this looks more like a mustache, the letter M, or a game controller? Because I can't quite decide for myself. Also, the design was completely by accident. Now for the wings, and the brand new design for the spacers. You can see me there just measuring out so that everything is at proper distance, so that there's enough space for each spacer and enough space in between each spacer, because that space is supposed to be a little bit wider than the spacers. There's a lot of math when I build, and it's usually never intentional. It just happens. Now for the other side, doing the same thing in the other way. I've already said it so many times, but I'm gonna say it again. These turned out so well. There's the attachment point for the engines, however that is for another time. Here I decided that the mustache is too noisy, and I decided to just cover it up with panels instead. Except for a couple of places where I kind of liked having some panels be missing, added a little bit of depth. Here's that instance where I moved the support beam, and had to redesign the old support block. Yeah, I'm not too pleased with how this turned out, but it is what it is. But hey, at least the aft of the ship has a mustache. It's where they house the wharf core. I found this particular angle really difficult to detail, and I don't know why. So when in doubt, panels. Greebles. Anyway, now for the support beam. I also went in and apparently did some details without recording it. That's interesting. Anyway, support beam. There are no reference images whatsoever of this part. There's barely even anything of the rings that's gonna be on here. So this is all just improvised. Well, this feels like a pretty good stopping point, so thank you for watching, thank you very much for your patience, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, good day, farewell, and whatever. I really need to make a proper outro.